Hi everybody, my name is Destiny Staples and this is my midterm project for WST 460. This is my first video and it is going to be discussing role theory and how that ties into the desired body and the gendered body and the social expectations that go along with that. So on the first topic, role theory is defined as a perspective in sociology that considers most everyday activity to be acting out of socially defined categories. So just meaning that everything that you do it for a reason because somebody at some point in your life told you to. These categories for everybody overlap more often than not, but each role coexists with others, whether that's seamlessly or not seamlessly. Roles may pose a problem for those that are held to too many conflicting standards. For example, mothers are supposed to be first and foremost taking care of their children and taking care of the house, and basically just sticking with that highly feminine traditional role. That role itself is defined as acting as a providing parental stock or taking one's children into higher regard than themselves. In its own realm, it's obviously ideal that a mother could just be a mother and that's all there is to it, but in our society, one person holds many roles, and that's where people run into problems. In a specific example, desire is one area that mothers may have a conflicting role. Not only are they supposed to be mothers, but they are supposed to be wives, and they're supposed to be sexy to their husbands, and they're supposed to just take care of everything within their home, including their spouse and themselves. That's where there's a clash between the transition from mother to wife or spouse or girlfriend, however you want to define your home life. No matter what your home life may be, in society in general, our women of all forms are highly sexualized thanks to media and what people think that the male gaze has to do with. The standards that our society sets forth, like I said, in the media are highly unrealistic, and women just don't meet these standards more often than not. Unfortunately, that takes a toll on self-esteem across the board. A woman is expected to remain fit and sexy no matter what obstacles or activities she is subjected to throughout the day. Sexy, according to the media, means that you stay thin and fit. You can't be muscular because that's manly. That's not attractive to men. We have to maintain everything from our hair to, long hair and bright, pretty teeth and long legs that are toned, and we have to be tan, and we have to have perfectly clear skin, and it doesn't matter how much it takes to get to that point. The cosmetic side and the physical side of being a female in our society is a job in itself. And when that is added to other roles that women have, it seems like it could possibly be nearly impossible. Unfortunately, like I said, that takes a huge toll on the self-esteem of women in our society, which is a huge part of why plastic surgery is so popular and women are so unhappy with their bodies, because we are subjecting ourselves to being compared to women that are just not, it's not realistic. You see Victoria's Secret models with their big boobs and their long, beautiful tan legs, and you don't think about the fact that they have other roles in life. They might be a mother, they might be a teacher, they might be a number of different things, but first and foremost, they're seen as sexy, and that is the only thing that is worth anything, what it seems like in our society, which is really sad, but that's just how things are now. This doesn't only affect women, but men and trans people as well. Men are held to an extremely high standard. They have to be muscular, just like you want women to be fit. You want to have the men that they're with to be attractive as well, and that has everything to do with they have to have beautiful, thick hair, and in our society now, the trend is man buns, which is long hair, which a lot of men can't grow. So if you have premature balding, you're not sexy. If you have the dad bod, you're not sexy. You have to be muscular. You have to make a lot of money. You have to be providing for your family. And those things add up. If you take 40 plus hours of a work week to provide for your family, and then if you want to have that great body that all the girls seem to find so attractive, then you spend anywhere between 2 and 5 hours in the gym every week, maybe more, maybe less. It just depends on your body. And then they're expected to have an ever-presence in their children's lives, which should be obviously the most important thing to them. But if they're not fathers, then other things take the place of that time. The same goes for women and trans people. On a totally other note, for trans people, it's unfortunate, but they have another role that they have to pass, and Uppercase Chase took a great example on that, and how unfortunate it is for trans people that they have to fit into the binary of male or female, and if they don't specifically fit into those stereotypes, they're not accepted. His video is titled The Problematic Concept of Passing, and it is absolutely problematic, because who cares if you don't fit into the female or male stereotype? You're still a person and you should just be accepted for who you are. Those specific guidelines are unrealistic, just like women can't be beautiful all the time and men can't always be the strongest person in the room. More on the topic of trans people, men and women have the advantage of fitting into the binary of normal people, and they're only seen as normal because they're cis, when trans people are just as normal, however you want to take normal. There's no such thing as normal, but everybody falls into their own category, and they're usually not into that binary. I consider myself a woman, and my genitalia matches what I consider myself in society, and yet I still do a lot of things that do not have anything to do with women specifically. Women are not thought to be strong and independent, and they're not thought to hunt and provide for their families, and yet I still do all of these things. I am lucky to do all of these things without having to explain myself to anybody, because I am a woman and I look like a woman, and it's totally unfortunate that just because other people don't fit specifically into the stereotype of male or female or feminine and masculine, then they have to answer questions and they have to worry about fear and judgment. Being cis has its advantages because you don't have to question your lifestyle any more than the next cis person. And trans people, unfortunately, have to look so much more into the fears and all of the judgments that they face every day. So I feel so very sorry for people that have to think so much about all of their actions. On a more personal note of my roles, I have a lot of different roles, just like every other person does. I am a student at ASU. I am an employee, I am a girlfriend, I'm a daughter, I'm an aunt, and I'm a sister, and all of those roles have their own specific guidelines and expectations. Not only am I those things, I'm hundreds of other things, and each of those have their own expectations for their respective area in their setting. My roles don't force me to be subjected to expectations of other roles. My roles, for instance, expect me to manage my time well and to use my education to the best of my knowledge and to do my job at a satisfactory level and to show affection and love to my significant other, as well as try my best to make my parents proud. Returning to the matter of the desired body and the attractive level of men and women and trans people to whoever they are trying to be desirable to, there is the matter of improper versus proper sex, illustrated by Rubin, and I took this a little bit farther than just the sexual acts themselves. She uses a sexual value system where it contains the sexual acts in a certain hierarchy of what is proper versus improper. I took this a little bit farther with the expectations of society for what is desirable and what is not desirable, since attraction and physical attributes obviously have something to do with the sexual desire of those being desired or those desiring others. Proper fits into the specifics of tall, sexy females and what media basically makes women to be as attractive, and what men, on the other hand, are. They need to be tall and masculine and independent and not emotional, and the list goes on and on for males and females, as well as trans people trying to pass as one of those too. With respect to the previously mentioned physical expectations, that's what I mean about the desire of men and women. I fall specifically into the stereotype. I like tall men and I like muscular men, and to some I may fall into the level of attractiveness that they're looking for. I know that people have very different expectations, but on a pretty level field, society tells us what is attractive and what is not. I have long blonde hair, I'm 5'4", I go to the gym, and some people find me attractive and others don't, and that's fine. So that being desired and desiring others is just a part of everyday life. With respect to me saying that I could be attractive to some, my hair obviously doesn't come out of my head this color. I don't always have makeup on. My eyebrows are not always plucked, and I don't ever look like this on a regular basis. So even I fall into the category of changing things about myself because society's told me so. So in conclusion, on our roles, everybody has their own roles, and it falls into many, many different theories. The role theory in itself has been studied in depth by sociologists all over the place. And that is basically all I have to say. And I hope that everybody gets to be their own roles and they get to live up to everything that they desire in themselves. And I wish that it wasn't so hard to fit the expectation of what everybody else seems to want in everyone other than themselves. It seems a little unrealistic. However, that is just the society we live in, and hopefully as a group and as a generation we can change that.